So the footage is out. The Brazilian Grand Prix is in the books, but the saga lives on in this onboard Max Verstappen footage that apparently we couldn't get live in real time whilst the Grand Prix was going on. The stewards made a decision without even seeing it, but it's out. It's out now, and we're going to have a look at it. So we're going to go frame by frame. I want you to pay attention to the fact that Lewis has just barely got his nose in front. And now let's have a look at the angle of Max's steering lock. So he's got a bit of lock on there, but it's not the acutest angle. Critically here as well, it's worth noting that Lewis has earned the right, per the stewards and Michael Masi, to 1 car's width. Max unwinds a little bit of lock, but nowhere is he full locked here. And then he drifts out ever so slightly. His wheels aren't locked, however, because the second that he is in full lock here now, it bites and turns in. So in my humble opinion, and that's beyond reasonable doubt now, you can see from the steering angle that very deliberately Max hasn't left Lewis Hamilton 1 car's width. And now if past is president, which we'll get onto right now, he needs to receive a penalty. For context, let's have a cheeky look at Max's pole lap from 2019. Again, I just want you guys to focus on the angle of Max's steering so you've got a benchmark. So here already he's on more severe steering lock. And at the point where he reaches the apex, you guys are going to see that he's on absolutely full lock, in stark contrast to the incident with Lewis. So there you go, that's pretty much full lock. It's about 85%, 90. Hits the apex. And there we go, he's absolutely on full lock. So here you have Exhibit A. You've got the actual incident where you can see Max wasn't overly aggressive into turn 4. He didn't really try and make the apex even. It's clear from his steering angle. If you needed a comparator, we've got the 2019 pole lap where you can see by the point where he reaches the apex, full lock. Let's take a look at Exhibit C. If past is precedent and we're consistent as stewards, then we want to look at incidents similar to this, being Lando Norris on Checo Perez, and then only a couple laps later you've got Checo Perez on Charles Leclerc. In both of these instances, penalties were handed out. Norris got 5 seconds, Perez got 10 seconds. So where is the consistency here? This is Lando trying to defend to Checo around the outside Austria. So he's actually made the apex. But then, of course, as you do as a driver, you try and hang him out to dry if he's gone around the outside. Lando pushes Checo all the way off the track, just like Max did. However, he stays on the track, so you could argue then that this is less deserving of a penalty than Max's incident on Lewis at turn 4. So then, of course, you have Checo trying the same defense, the same aggressive hanging out to dry that Lando did on him, to Charles Leclerc. He makes the apex. But then he's conscious that he's going to lose the position unless he gives Charles Leclerc a cheeky love kiss and the second one with the tyres. At which point, by the way, Charles Leclerc was ahead on track. So then Checo just opens the steering lock and drives Charles Leclerc off the track. I mean, this is super aggressive, right? But I'd argue not as aggressive as Max was on Sunday at turn 4. But Checo Perez gets 10 seconds for that from the stewards. Lando Norris gets 5. So if past is precedent, then extrapolate that out. What should Max Verstappen have got for his move during which all 4 tyres were off the track? 5 or 10 seconds, right? What it shouldn't have been is we're not going to investigate that because there's a lack of consistency. Let me posit upon you my theory why the stewards are being inconsistent. So I think there's a couple of things. Potentially it's incompetence. I'm going to throw that away. Michael Masi has been a racing director as long as I've been alive. Here's what I think is going on. Liberty Media as a business are trying to grow the sport that is F1, right? How better can you grow, or how faster can you grow a sport by having a new champion, a changing of the guard, a paradigm shift? A new young driver comes along and takes down the old horse in Lewis Hamilton. There's your headline. That's what's happening here. That's what I feel like, at least on a subconscious level, they're trying to engineer. If we're going to go conspiracy theories, this isn't a black or white issue. This is a green issue. If ever they're deviating from the script, it's for one of 2 reasons, or both potentially at any one time. If they're seen to be deciding who ends up holding that driver's championship trophy at the end of the season, that's a loss for F1. Nobody wants that. And then secondly, green. We're trying to expand the sport into new territories. You've seen there's just been a new Chinese F1 driver sign. Connect the dots. That's been another video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the support that you guys are giving the channel with your comments and your likes and your subscriptions. We're going to keep it going. Lots more to come over the next couple of weeks into the final 3 races of what might be the greatest F1 season, most definitely that I've ever seen. We'll see you in our next video. Peace.